That's actually. Oh man, okay. So thinking of decisions, I've actually been thinking of decisions lately. You know, one of the things that I've noticed this week in calls, so I started this new job. Part of what they're having us do is listen to other people's calls from the similar role to see what went well and what didn't. And what I've noticed in listening to these calls is like clients will call in, they'll have a plan, and when everything's going according to plan, they're happy to stick to the plan. When everything's going up in their account, they're happy to stick it to the plan. But as soon as something happens in the world, in life, they immediately want to bail, even though they've talked about what if situations if things didn't go correctly. And I've been finding myself thinking about this. How often in life do we find ourselves okay to go with the plan when everything's swimmingly going well and we don't have to make any decisions, when everything's going super well? But suddenly, what happens when we hit a rock, or what happens when there's a detour or a roadblock? Like, how do we respond in those moments? Do we continue on course? Do we calm ourselves, or do we bail ship? And so we're going to focus on that today. And I think the thing to keep in mind is that we need to take a moment to pause and breathe and reflect. What is the original decision that we wanted to make? Why were we making this decision? And can we trust that the process is unfolding as it needs to? So we're going to see how that works out through the body, all these things that we're going to work on our calves and our hamstrings. So what?
I'm just preemptively saying ow.
Yeah, this is going to be an owl. So today we want to make sure we have at least a strap and a blanket and one block. And the first thing that we're going to do is I want you to bring your bums to the floor, and you're going to grab your strap. So Jason, I will off the blanket. Yeah, I'll give this to you. And actually, you could go ahead and take that now. So what you're going to do is you're going to open, let's all start with our left foot. And we're going to do, Emily calls this the Jespa drill, which I think is hilarious, but you're going to put the strap across the front of your foot, cross it behind your ankle, lift up the heel and cross the outer edge to your big toe, and then cross the inner edge to your pinky toe. So starting again, comes across the top. Nope. Doesn't matter which way you do first. It goes around the ankle, you lift the foot, go around the big toe, and then go around the pinky toe. And then some of you are going to lay straight back on your back and lift your foot straight up to the floor. Some of you will just sit up depending upon how your body feels. So those of you that are going to your back, lay all the way down on your back. Jenny, are you okay to go to your back? Okay. Okay.
I'm not going to get back up again.
Okay, well, if we get to that point, I will definitely help. And then once you find yourselves on your back, if you find yourselves on your back, let me help. I want you to notice what happens if you pull just on the side that has your big toe. And are you breathing?
No.
Not at all, no. And then I want you to see if you can pull just on the side that has your pinky toe. Go ahead and lay down. And then I want you to see what happens if you push up through your heel a crap ton. And then some of you might choose to move the strap that's on your big toe more towards your second toe, your third toe. And then that changes how you feel sensation in your calf and your hamstring. And are we breathing? And then what? I know, again, with the breathing, we're taking a slight detour. So we have to remember that that's our thing, we're breathing. And then you might play with how you can internally and externally rotate that foot. And how does that change the sensation in the calves? How does that change the sensation in your hamstring? And you've got about 2 more breath cycles here, and you're just pausing and you're breathing and you're noticing if you're clenching your faces. And then at the end of your next exhalation, you'll gently bend your knee and you'll release the strap. And just plant your foot on the floor. Take a moment to see what you notice between the right hip and the left hip. Maybe bending both knees and just taking a moment to see how that feels. And then when you're ready, you'll roll over to one side. You'll come up to sit and we'll try all that stuff again. Just seems easier. Hi, Laura. So Laura, we're going to need a strap today, and we're starting on our feet. So this time we have our right foot, and again, the strap comes across the front of your ankles. It crosses behind. It's literally like you're wearing a cute espadrille. And then you lift your foot, and then you can either go around the pinky toe or you go around the big toe, but you're creating a giant X along the sole of your foot. Once you've got that going on, you can go ahead and lay down on your backs if you want to, or you can also do this sitting up. And you're just paying attention, release, release. You're paying attention to how you can pull on the big toe side. Let me help. And how you can pull on the pinky toe side. And then you're noticing what happens if you send your heel up a little bit more, really pressing the heel up like you're trying to kick the ceiling away. And then noticing what happens if you internally and externally rotate that leg. And then are we breathing? And then if you'd like, you can play with where that strap is. Maybe you move it over so it's now on the second and third toe or the middle toe. And it really just changes how you're feeling sensations in the soles of our feet. And again, are we breathing? Are we breathing? We all make plans in life. And how do we allow ourselves to trust that sometimes the hiccups on the road, the little things that cause us to cringe or want to hold our breath are really just part of the journey, and that they've actually been allocated into that journey. All right, take your last breath cycle here. And at the end of your next exhale, you'll gently release, you'll bend the knee. You'll release that strap, plant both feet on the floor. Take a moment to notice how's the hippie doos now, right and left side. And then you'll gently roll over to one side. And you're going to make your way up to hands and knees. And I do encourage you, once you find yourself on hands and knees, this would be an excellent opportunity to use that blanket and put it underneath your knees. It'd also be a great time if you've got blocks and or a block to plant it towards the upper outer corner of your space. And our first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make our way to toe squat. So everyone's favorite pose to not like. And the first thing that you're going to do is, once you find yourself in toe squat, figure out where you want your arms. You know, sometimes it feels good to bring them behind the back. Sometimes it feels good to just let them sit here. But the focus for today isn't so much on me making you do crazy things with your arms, but really paying attention to what's happening in your feet. And I want you to see if you can drop your tailbone a little bit and lift your heart a little bit and your crown a little bit, and then notice where the breath is. So consciously start to deepen and tone the back of your throat and breathing in and out through the nose. And you're just noticing how you're responding in this moment, how the breath is moving, how the mind can start to settle on the breath. Awesome sauce. At the end of your next exhalation, you'll gently come forward, hands on the mat, pitter patter the tops of the toes against the floor if you'd like. And then if you'd like, you'll shift back and take a counter stretch. And you're just paying attention. How does this feel? How do the knees feel? How do the ankles feel? Yeah. And then after you feel complete with that, we're going to come forward once again, hands and knees. Now for this one, we're going to stay here for a bit longer than you actually want to stay here. I'm sorry. I want you to see if you can drop your belly to the floor like a sad, sad, sad Seattle cow, super sad cows. And then drop your heads down to the floor too. You're really sad Seattle cows. So your head drops, your belly drops, but your arms push into the floor like crazy. Your arms are pushing into the floor like crazy, but your heart is melting through your arms, your belly is dropping, but your arms are straight and your head is dropping. And this comes from Pita Gosku. And after a while, you guys are going to feel so much crap happening in your arms. And I want you to continue to breathe. Your arms are straight, your arms are strong, your armpits are lifting up, but your heart is melting. The heart is melting. Yep. The heart is melting, the belly is dropping, the head is dropping, your tailbone is flaring. And we've got about another 30 seconds here, and you're just letting the space melt here as the arms stay strong. Yeah, soften here. And so I did get someone saying they had a little bit of tension in between the upper shoulder blades. And so you might be feeling that here as you just allow the shoulder blades to hug, the heart to drop, the belly to drop, the tailbone to lift. Does that feel okay on you? Okay, so you've got 4 more breath cycles here. Just let your heart melt, just let your head be heavy. Keep those arms super straight, super straight, super straight. Awesome sauce. Now from here, I want you to imagine, for some reason, you're opening 2 jars of pickles, and you're gonna squeeze your elbows towards each other and then open them out, keeping everything else the same. So you're opening jars of pickles, just twist them. Still in sad cows, and you're twisting your elbows almost like you're trying to open a jar. It sounds really odd. So actually twist your elbows. Cool, that's fun. That makes no sense. Both. So they go in, turn back and forth. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Sandy. I feel like you guys need to come up with like new things for me to cue, because you're like, what is like? All right, so you're still sad little cows though. So your belly's still dropping, your head's still dropping, your heart's still dropping, and you're feeling this in your shoulder blades if you're turning the eyes of the elbows forward and back and forward and back. And some of you might even hear this in your shoulders as you move this. And then at the end of your next exhale, I want you to round your spine a lot like you're a Halloween cat. Round your spine a lot like you're a Halloween cat. Press the shins into the floor, press your hands into the floor. Breathe into your upper back, and then inhale, come back into that cow shape pose. Spread wide through the tailbone, reach your heart and sternum forward. Yep. And then 3 more just like that, little cats and cows. And you're feeling that expansion across the upper back. And the more you can slow down as you come into your cat pose, you'll round in and push that space up and away. Yeah. And then just feel how that goes. Awesome sauce, guys. And you're just paying attention. How's the breath? How's the body? How are you? And then on your next in breath, we'll go ahead and find ourselves in a neutral spot. Neutral spine. Send your right foot long and back behind you. Tuck the toes under. And I want you to push the floor away with that left shin. I want you to push the floor away with both hands. And I want you to squeeze all the muscles around your right leg and then start to pulse a little forward and back. And you notice that if you push the hands down and forward, you push the shin down and forward, your core actually starts to engage. And so we're stretching that calf. And then when you're ready, you'll lower the right knee down, and we'll try all that on the other side. So the left leg sends itself back, push down into the top of the right knee, right shin, push down into your hands, scoop the low belly, squeeze the left leg, and then pulse a little forward and back just to open up that calf. Yep. And you're just breathing. Can you hear your breath? Can you sense your breath? Are you feeling your breath? And then we'll go ahead and lower that knee down. I encourage you to grab your block and put that block between your feet and sit your bum on your block. Now, if you need to be a little bit higher, by all means, go ahead and do that. But before you sit yourselves down, you might want to move the flesh from underneath the backs of your knees and sit tall. And for this, we're just going to start with some little flamenco twirls of the wrists. Arms are going to come forward. They're going to come up, all the way up. Once both arms are up and overhead, go ahead and bend your left elbow, grab your left elbow with your right hand, press the left elbow to the left and pull it to the right. And as you're here, let's see if you can lift up through the sternum, lengthen down through the tail, and soften across your face. And then just nice breath, chin parallel-ish to the floor. So head pushes straight back. And then when you're ready, you'll inhale, lift the right arm up, lift the left arm up, and then switch sides, bending the right elbow, grabbing the right elbow with the left hand. And again, you're pushing the right elbow to the right. You're pulling it to the left. You're pushing your heart space forward, your skull back, your tailbone down. Yep. And you're breathing. And then you're noticing if you can lift that jaw parallel to the floor and release any tension there. And then just breathing into the back body. Awesome sauce. Next in breath, reach up through the left arm, reach up through the right. As you exhale, arms open out and they come all the way back behind you. Take awkward opposite interlace. So whatever feels weird to you behind you. Hug those shoulder blades together on your back. Squeeze the shoulders together and lift the heart. Tailbone lengthens, heart lifts. Awesome sauce. Some of you will choose to stay right here, happy as a clam. Some of you will release your hands to the floor, lean yourselves back, and take a little bit of a quad stretch. So this is just a preliminary thing. So you might walk your hands back. You might happily stay there. Some of you might lift your butt up and lower your forearms to the floor. But whatever you're doing is you're paying attention to the heart being open. So shoulder blades on back, heart lifting up, and you're just pausing and you're breathing. Sternum is lifting, shoulder blades are hugging together on the back. Nice job, guys. Are you breathing? Nope. Great. On your next in-breath, you're gently going to come out of whatever shape you happen to be in, and you're going to crawl yourselves forward, hands and knees once again. Go ahead and remove that block and replant it towards the top of your space. And we are about to add on. Cool. So listen very closely. Bend both knees, keeping them bent. Push into your hands. Start to lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Both knees stay bent. Both knees stay bent. Both knees stay bent. With both knees still bent, I want you to push your hands down and forward. Lift your low belly in and up, and see if you can lift your tuchus a little higher. Keep drawing your shoulder blades together onto the back body, and then lift your armpits up and away from the floor. Yep. Awesome. Next in breath, come forward into a plank, hovering your knees off the floor, still bent, knees still bent, knees still bent, hovering off the floor. Now send your pubic bone back, your sternum forward, push the floor away and draw the low belly in. And you're just going to breathe here for 3 breaths. And we're breathing and we're breathing and we're doing so great. And we're breathing and we're breathing and you're doing so great. Yeah. Next exhale, lower the knees to the mat. Extend your right leg back behind you, press down into the top of the left shin. Push down into the hands, draw the low belly in, and on your next in-breath, lift your right leg parallel to the floor. Now make sure your inner right thigh is lifting, push down through both hands, and inflate that left low back. Now keeping your hips as they are, inhale, draw your right leg to touch the person to your left. So it's going to go to the left behind you. Yep. And then inhale here. Next exhale, try to touch your right knee to your right shoulder, right knee to your right shoulder, right knee to your right shoulder. Yep. Inhale, send the leg back and towards the person behind you on the left. And then exhale, try to touch your right knee to your right shoulder. Yep, and you got 2 more just like that. And as you draw the leg straight behind you, see if you can keep it still parallel to the floor. Yep. And then exhale, hugging it in, saying, hi, outer hips, don't you love me? Nope. Yep. And then last time that right knee is coming to the right shoulder, you're going to pause there. See if you can push down into those hands, draw the low belly in and shift more of your weight to your left hand. Next, exhale, step that right foot to the floor. Right foot to the floor. Right outside your right hand. Yeah, perfect. Some of you will bring your hands to the blocks at this point. Some of you will keep your hands on the floor. At this point, I want you to make sure that right foot is pretty close to your right hand as best as it can be. If your right hand is on the block, keep it there. If it's on the floor, keep it there. The next in-breath, open your left arm up towards the sky. Left arm up towards the sky. Yeah, now let's take 3 breath cycles here. Push your right knee into your right arm. Push your right arm into your right knee. Push down into your right heel and draw your right hip back. Yep, and then from there, you'll notice that you can rotate the right ribs under, the left ribs up. And some of you will stay right here. Some of you will reach your left arm alongside your ears, palm faces the floor, finding more of a stretch on that left side body. And you're pausing and you're breathing and you're pausing and you're breathing. And are we breathing? Are we breathing? Yeah, next exhale. You'll lower that left hand to the floor. Bring your right foot between your hands. So wiggle walk your hands, or rather your foot, so it's inside of that, whatever. Okay. Now from here, I want you to push down into your front foot, push down into your back knee, roll your spine up to vertical, roll up to vertical. Bring your hands to the front of your right thigh. You might stay here, pushing your right heel into the floor, pushing your left knee into the floor, sucking those together. Some of you might reach your left arm up and overhead. And you're going to pause and you're going to breathe. Everyone shift your pelvis forward just a smidge. Keep pushing down into your right heel, lengthening your tailbone down. And if you'd like, the fingers are together, or maybe they're not, but you're finding length on that left side body. Maybe the heart lifts. On your next exhale, go ahead and lower the left hand to the floor. Lower your right hand to the floor, shift your weight back, straighten your front leg long, maybe walking that right leg in front of you just a little bit for half splits, Ardha Hanumanasana. And just as we did when we had that strap at the very beginning of practice, can you pull your 4th and 5th toes back towards your face like you did when you had that strap? Can you reach your heart and sternum forward? And are we still breathing? Now everyone press down into the right heel. Push down into the left knee and you keep breathing. Heart and sternum reaches forward. Yep. Letting your shoulder blades come together a bit on your back. So it feels like your heart is melting, like you're a sad little cow again. Yep. On your next in-breath, go ahead and shift your weight forward, bend the front knee. As you exhale, plant your palms. Listen palms on mat. Listen very closely, tuck your back toes under. Lift your butt enough to step back into plank. Lift your butt enough to step back into plank. Nice job. Pause here for 3 breaths. Push down through the floor, lift up through your inner armpits and squeeze your little tuchus. Reach back through your feet. And you've got 1 more breath cycle here. You're doing great. Awesome sauce. Next, exhale, bend your knees, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Pause here. Now here's our little interlude. For today, I want you to keep bending through your knees a lot. And then I want you to take your right foot to your left heel and hook onto your foot with your big toe. You're going to pull your left heel down, straighten your left leg long and say, hello, calves. Hello, calves. Hello, calves. And you might shift your hips a little bit right to left and notice what that does in your calves and your hammies. And are we breathing? I hope so. When you're ready, you'll inhale, bend both knees, release that right foot back to the floor, and then you'll try that on the other side. So you hook your big toe, middle toe, whatever that toe is, around your right heel. You straighten the right leg, pull it down, your hippies high. Maybe you wiggle your tailbones a little bit. Oh, yay, we're breathing now. Good job, guys. And then when you're ready, you'll release that left foot to the floor. You'll bend your knees. You'll come back to that hovering plank. Hovering plank, 2 breaths, hovering plank, hovering plank. The end of your next exhale, lower your knees to the mat, tabletop. Extend your left leg long and back. Press the right shin into the floor. Press the hands into the floor, draw the low belly in. Next in-breath, float that left leg up parallel to the floor. Awesome sauce. And now we're going to try this time. Inhale, your left leg will come behind you to the right, maybe touch that person over there. And then exhale, left knee to left shoulder. Yep. Inhale, draw the leg back behind you. Seeing if you can keep the spine pretty straight as you do that. And then exhale, knee to elbow or shoulder, however you can get it there. 2 more on your own. Yep. So we're trying to keep the spine straight because then it engages your external obliques, internal obliques. If you round the spine, you're getting more of just your rectus abdominals, not so much of the side core. Awesome. And then the next time that left knee comes towards your left shoulder, you're going to pause there and you're going to squeeze. You're going to push your hands down. You're going to notice if your weight is balanced or if you're hanging over there on that right side. And then gently lower the left foot to the floor outside your left hand. And oh, thank God we're done with that. Hands to blocks or floor. And this time, let's try this. Everyone first push down into your left heel. Push down into your left foot a crap ton. Maybe the left hand is on a block, maybe it's not, but you'll start to rotate your right hand up towards the sky, revolving to the right. And then as we find ourselves here, keep lifting through that left armpit. So that's the left arm. Push down into the left hand a lot. Squeeze your left arm into your left knee into your left arm. Draw that left outer hip back. Yeah. And then notice that you can draw those left ribs towards the right ribs back. And some of you will stay here. Some of you will reach the right arm along your ear, palm faces down. And that just intensifies the stretch happening on your right side body. And are you breathing? Are you breathing? Are you breathing? Nice job, guys. On your next exhale, you'll lower the right hand to the floor, hands to blocks or floor, wiggle walk the left foot towards the center of your space. And then once you find yourself there, push into the front foot, push into the back knee, roll your spine up and coming to that Asana position first. And you're just going to take a moment to pause here. You might keep both hands on the center of that left thigh. You might reach your right arm up and overhead, and you'll just take a moment to breathe here. Front knee bent, pushing into front foot, pushing into back knee, sucking both those points into each other. And then you're lifting, almost like you can lift your ribs off your hips. And you've got 1 more breath cycle here. On your next exhale, hands come down to the floor. So right hand to the block, left hand to the block, straighten your front leg, shift your butt back, maybe slide that left leg forward. And you'll pause and you'll breathe. And then again, check in with your front foot. Are all 5 toes pulling back towards your left knee? Can you still push down into your right knee? Can you push down into your left heel? Can you reach your heart forward? Yep. And are you breathing? How's the breath? Is it steady? Is it consistent? Is it stable? We're creating a plan to weather all storms, and most of that just comes from being able to breathe. Awesome sauce. On your next in-breath, let's go ahead and come forward, low lunge. As you exhale, plant your hands on the mat. And as gently as you can, you'll just lift your butt enough to step yourself back to plank. Lift your butt enough to step back to plank. Yep. And you got 3 breaths here, 3 happy little breaths. Hearts are lifting forward, hands are pushing down. You guys doing fantastic. On your next exhale, you'll bend your knees and you'll lift your hips, downward facing dog. Awesome sauce. And then you'll pause and you'll breathe. And you'll pause and you'll breathe and you'll notice what you notice. Are you wanting to jump ship already? Are you wanting to bail? Or can you allow yourself to continue to be present? Awesome. We're going to find our hammies once again. Inhale, reach your right leg up and back. I want you to pause here. Notice what happens if you bend your left knee. So that's this bottom leg, and then straighten your left leg. And then bend your left knee and straighten your left leg. And then lift your right leg a little higher and then bend the left knee. Yep, and straighten that left leg. And then on your next exhale, bend the left knee, step the right foot between your hands. Bend the left knee, step the right foot between your hands. Bend the left knee. Yeah, cool. And then once you found yourself here, let's go ahead and pause. You might bring both hands to the blocks inside your front leg. We're going to keep that back leg super long and strong and active. And then when you're ready, you're going to spin your back foot, that's the left foot, to the floor. Haha, look at that, we tricked you. And now we're going to see that we're in warrior 2 legs, but both hands are still on the floor. Pause here. If your right hand is happy on the floor, you can keep it here. Otherwise, it may come to a block. You're going to start to roll your spine towards the left, and suddenly we found ourselves in extended side angle. And just as we did before, push that knee into the arm into the knee. Draw that outer right hip straight back, push into that left pinky toe as much as you can. Some of you will reach your left arm straight up to the sky. Some of you will draw the left arm alongside your left ear. And some of you will take a half bind. But you are going to breathe and you're going to notice that those legs are working a crap ton. Push into the legs, hug them towards each other. Awesome sauce. Now, wherever you are, bring more of your awareness back into your feet. Push into both of your feet. Next, in breath, sweep your left arm back and come into warrior 2. Oh, God, indeed. Yeah, I heard that. And you're pausing and you're breathing, and you're pausing and you're breathing, and we're pausing and we're breathing. And I'm dancing around because I'm not having to do this. So relax your ribs, and I want you to rotate your ribs forward. Yep, and then drop your tailbone. There. Okay. Awesome. Now from here, let's go ahead and bring our hands to our low back, interlacing our fingers at the webbing, whatever feels okay to you. And then I want you to hug your elbows towards each other. So pull away from me. Lift your heart up, drop your tailbone down. Heart lifts up. Hello, hello. And you're just pausing and you're breathing, and I'm just working your legs and you're doing something with your arms. Awesome sauce. From here, we're going to go ahead and bring our right hand. I think that's your right hand. Yeah, let that go to the left hip, and then just extend down through your left arm. And you're just going to pause here for a moment. I want you to notice that you can open this shoulder blade. And so we're going to pause here. We're going to come back to this in a moment, but not for now. But in the moment, you're going to reach up through your right arm and keeping this arm light. So notice that there's nothing here. I want you to reach up like you're doing superstar, and you're going up so much that you start to feel a side bend happen, but there's not a lot of weight in this back arm. And you're just pausing and you're breathing. We're finding more of a side bend, so there's not a lot of weight in our left arm. Awesome sauce. Next, in breath, go ahead and come back up to warrior 2. From here, push down through both feet in order to straighten both legs. Now bring your left hand to your left hip. I want you to keep this exactly as it is. Bring your right hand to the front of your right thigh, and you're going to start to lean without letting your left hip move. You're going to lean without letting your left hip move. You're going to lean without letting your left hip move. You're going to lean without letting your left hip move. And once you find your spot, you're like, okay, that's not my triangle, but you're going to stay there. And some of you will stay right here. Some of you will turn your left palm to face forward and start to rainbow it up and over your arm, or over your head. And suddenly there's a lot more crap happening up here in our upper body than there is in our legs. And you're pausing and you're breathing. And with that right hand against the right shin, you can draw the right shoulder forward, the left shoulder up, and say hello to your lats. Hello, side body. Hello, QL. Are you breathing? Are you breathing? Are you breathing? And then Molly ring wall up through that top arm. So you're really reaching up through the left arm. Yep. Next in breath, come back to Virabhadrasana, 2 warrior 2 people. Yeah, job. Molly Shannon, what did I say? Oh, crap. Every single time she becomes Molly Ringwall. Take one more breath here. On your next exhale, cartwheel the hands down to the floor. Take a moment to pause, pivot to the ball of your back foot, step yourself back to plank, and then step yourself back to downward facing dog, 3 breaths. And you're just noticing, how you doing? Are we ready to jump ship? Or can we remind ourselves of why we do this? You know, we come to yoga because we like to have a certain amount of flexibility, mobility in body, mind, spirit, heart. You know, we save money for the future. We try to eat well because we want to make sure our bodies feel good. We like to have fun enjoyment because we need to know that life is worth living. Like, we have all these things and we have to remember why they're important when it becomes a little bit more complicated. All right, we're going to try this on the other side. Inhale, lift your left leg up and back. And just as we did before, you're going to bend the right knee and then straighten the right leg. So that's the bottom leg, and then bend the right knee and straighten the right leg. And hello, right calf, calves and hamstrings, bend the right leg and straighten the left. Yep, last time. Awesome sauce. Now this time, this sounds really weird, but you're going to bend the right knee as you step the left foot between the hands. Notice what that is in the back of your calves. Yeah. Plant that foot. And then once you've got that there, you might bring both hands to blocks or keep them on the floor. You'll then spin your back foot down for warrior 2. And we're in a lot longer stance than we normally are. Both hands are on the inside edge of your left foot. Great. From here, push down into your feet, push your left arm into your left knee into your left arm, and you'll start to roll your rib cage to the right. Some of you will then reach that right arm up towards the sky. Some of you will turn the palm over your ear or arm alongside your ear, palm faces down. Some of you will take that half reverse bind, but you're pushing into your legs a crap ton. You're hugging your feet together a crap ton, and you're breathing into your side body a crap ton. Nice work, guys. We got one more breath cycle here. On your next in-breath, you'll release your arms and come up for warrior 2, warrior 2, warrior 2. Happy days, look at that. Are we ready to jump ship? Are we breathing? Okay, you okay here? Okay, I want you to breathe for me. Yep, you just breathe. Little baby, you're gonna turn around and go the other way. The mom is just gonna breathe. Awesome sauce. At the end of your next exhale, let's go ahead and interlace our hands, awkward opposite interlace at your low back. And again, you're imagining that for some reason you have something between your elbows and you're trying to squeeze into that. Squeeze into that. Yep. Heart lifts, tailbone drops. Are you breathing? Are you breathing? We are doing so fantastic, guys. Meaning you are, because I'm just standing here. And then when you're ready, we're taking the opposite. So last time our hands came over to our left hip, so bring both your hands to your right hip. Draw your left shoulder back on the body, and then just gently release that right arm. And so this right arm, like, it's dead noodle. It's nothing there. We want to see if we can keep that light. You'll next inhale, sweep your left arm up, and you're reaching up so much that you have no choice but to bend sideways. But it's not because I'm just like collapsing over. It's because I'm reaching up and then I'm side bending. And this right arm is super, super noodly. It's not pushing in to force me into the shape. Awesome. Next in breath, we'll go ahead and come up to Virabhadrasana 2. As you exhale, push through both feet to straighten the legs. Awesome sauce. Bring your left hand onto the inside edge of your left thigh, and you can look down and make sure that that kneecap is engaged. And then we're going to start to slide. Let's bring our left hand out of this for a minute. Slide down as far as you can go without letting your right hip move. So we don't want the right hip to move. And then once you've gotten as far as you can go, then you might start to fan and rainbow that your right arm up and over your head. You can then push your left arm into your left thigh shin thing. You can push your left shin thigh thing into your left arm, and the left ribs come under the right ribs. Yeah, there you go, Roberta. And you're just pausing and you're breathing. You guys are doing so awesome. Nice work. Next in breath, return to Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. Yep, happy days, people, friends. On your next exhale, let's start to cartwheel the hands down to the floor. Pivot to the ball of your back foot. Make your way back to downward facing dog and pause. Downward facing dog and pause. Downward facing dog and pause. Awesome sauce. Okay, and 3 breaths. And now as you're in down dog, pay attention to your ankles. Where are there wrinkles in your ankles, and can you even them out? Wrinkles in your ankles. That sounds like a weird little play on words, but see if you can press more in such a way that you can take out the wrinkles in your ankles. You know, so for some of you, it might mean you need to press more into the inner edges of your feet. Some, it might mean you need to press more into the outer edges of your feet, but you're trying to see if you can take out the wrinkles in your ankles. Awesome sauce. Last little standing set. Inhale, sweep your right leg up and back. As you exhale, knee to nose. Carefully step that foot to the mat. You might bring your hands to the blocks, you might not. You're gonna step the back foot in a smidge and spin it down for Virabhadrasana 1. Before you go anywhere, hey, we could take a longer stance. You guys all cheated there. I want you to push down through your feet. Curl your tailbone down and roll your spines up for Virabhadrasana 1. Oh, look at you go. Awesome sauce, people. And then once we find ourselves up, take any adjustments you need to make. Do you feel like you need to turn your ribs a little bit more towards the right? Do you feel like you need to draw that outer right hip back towards the inner left thigh? Do you want your arms up today? Do you want them on your hips? I don't really care, but you're going to just take a moment to pause here. You're rooting through your feet. That's what's most important. And are you breathing? Are you breathing? Are you breathing? Good job, guys. On your next exhale, arms open out and come to your low back, interlacing the fingertips at the webbing. Pause here. Pull your arms towards each other. Reach your heart and sternum up. On your next exhale, you'll start to humble your warrior. So you'll fold into the inside edge of your right leg. You're pushing your feet in so much. And once you go down, you're pulling that outer right hip into your inner left thigh. So you're swinging that outer right butt cheek into the left. Yep, you're pushing down through that foot. And some of you will reach your arms up and over your head by hugging the shoulder blades onto the back. Some of you will do none of that. And then you're just going to pause. How are we staying the course? There's stability in the feet. You guys got this. Next inhale, you'll bring yourself back to Virabhadrasana 1. Nice job, people. Next exhale, straighten your front leg long. Bring your hands to your hippie doos. Reach your left arm up. Pull your right hip back. Inhale, reach up and out and down and come into, well, you're coming down to pyramid pose. Right hand still on the hip. Left hand comes to floor or block underneath your left shoulder. Perfect. Well, I shouldn't say perfect. Perfect is arbitrary. Good job, guys. I'm having a day. I'm sorry. And then we're going to push into our feet. I want everyone to pull your front kneecap up a lot. And then I want you to push into your left hand so much that your left armpit floats up like there's a balloon there. Happy balloon underneath the left armpit. Some of you will stay right there. Some of you will start to rotate your chest towards the right. Your heart and sternum still looks forward. So Roberta, lift your head for me just a little bit. Push down into that left hand even more, maybe coming to the top of your left fingertips. Yeah, now start to rotate. So this keeps your spine long first, and then you can rotate. Does that feel different? Yes. Yes. Okay, in a good way? Yeah, strange way? Okay. And then you're just going to pause. And if you're rotating, you can lean back just a smidge to feel like the left outer side of your body is coming forward, the right side of your body is stacking on top. Awesome sauce. As you're ready, those that have revolved, gently unwind. Everyone inhale, bend the front knee, plant the palms on the mat, and step yourself back to downward facing dog. Okay, so this is going to sound really super weird. You're going to imagine that now you've got hands on your heels And you're going to curl yourself forward into plank pose. Hands are pulling back on your heels. Your feet are trying to stay on the floor. Curl your spine forward into plank. Eventually, yep. And then exhale, bend your knees and reach your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Okay, Jenny, I'm gonna skip this one on you. And then you're gonna do that 2 more times. So you're reaching your heels back, you're rolling your spine forward into plank. Okay, exhale, hips high, downward facing dog. And last time, heels are reaching back. You're curling all the way forward into plank. Awesome sauce. And last time, up and back. Now this time when you come forward, you're gonna go all the way into upward facing dog, but you're gonna keep your feet on the floor, but you're reaching back so far through your heels as you roll forward through your spine, your tailbone's reaching back, the shoulder blades are coming together on the back and the heart is lifting. And you're just pausing and you're breathing and you're pausing and you're breathing and you're pausing and you're breathing. Nice job, guys. And then when you're ready, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Nice job. 3 breaths. How you doing? All right, you're almost done. Last crazy set. Inhale, lift your left leg up and back. As you exhale, step that foot quietly between your hands. Take a moment to pause here. That looked nice, Roberta. And then you're going to spin the back foot down just a bit for warrior one. And we want to see if we can stay in a long warrior one. I know this is one of those shapes that we don't like to make too small or too big, but we'll try that. And then we're going to push down into the back foot, push down to the front foot, curl your tailbone down, roll your spine up for Virabhadrasana 1. Yeah. And then once you're up, we've got about 3 to 5 breaths to do whatever the heck you want to do. So you're pressing on the back edge of the back foot. You're seeing if you can lift your ribs up and away from your hips. You're noticing if you can deepen the breath. Nothing is more important than the breath. Yep. Deep breaths. Deep, deep breaths. Yeah. Great job, guys. At the end of your next exhale, the arms will open out and they'll come to your low back, and you take whatever awkward opposite interlace, unless you did awkward opposite interlace last time, and then you'll do regular interlace. And then you're going to squeeze the shoulders together. The heart will lift. You'll breathe. And as you exhale, you'll fold into the inside edge of your left knee. And as best as you can, you're seeing if you're not collapsing. So is your weight resting on your left thigh, or is it hovering away? Can you draw your outer left hip back towards your inner right thigh so your hips swing back a little bit more to the right? And then you're pushing down through both feet. Yeah, nice job, guys. As you're ready, you'll inhale, root through your feet, come back up. Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1. Are we breathing? Are we breathing? Are we breathing? Nice job. As you exhale, straighten that front leg long. Bring both hands to your hips. Extend up through your right like you're having a happy salute just through the right arm. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, reach forward, out and down, coming into a modified pyramid pose. And so that right hand might come to the block or the floor directly underneath your right shoulder. Your left hand is on your left hippy do. Push from your left sit bone to your left foot. Pull that left hip back. Press the right foot down. And then everyone lift your spines parallel to the floor. Push down through that right hand enough so that the right armpit floats up. Yep. And some of you will stay right there. Some of you will start to rotate your rib cage towards the left. Yeah. Some of you will then maybe even open the left arm up. And if you're that looks good, Roberta. And if you're taking that, those that are rotating, or rather lifting their top arm, it really can sometimes feel like you can hug the shoulder blades together on your back body and fall back. It does feel like you're falling backwards just a smidge. On your next in-breath, those that are revolved, slowly unwind. Everyone, inhale, bend your front knee, plant your palms on the mat, step yourselves back, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. All right, and then you might inhale and come forward into that up dog. You might hang out for a bit in child's pose. You might hang out for a bit in downward facing dog, but you got 3 breaths doing whatever the heck you happen to be doing. And you're just trusting that there have been plans made in place for the momentary rest, for the momentary reprise, for the going forward, the coming back. I like to think that there's some like creative energy force that's out there trying to help each and every one of us. And sometimes the detours, the roadblocks, the setbacks, as we might want to call them, are part of the plan. And how do we allow ourselves to trust and go with that plan? All right. I had two more things that I wanted us to do. How are we feeling? Are we ready to start winding down, or do we want to try them? Well, first thing, I wanted to do a quad stretch thing, and then I wanted to do a dolphin thing, and we'll see how it goes from there. Okay, we got that one. All right, so let's go ahead and come back to downward facing dog. Make sure before you make your way to down dog, you might want to put your blanket again right back in the middle of your mat. And you might want to have your blocks just slightly forward. Okay. So you'll go back to downward facing dog. And then from down dog, inhale, lift your right leg up and back. As you exhale, step that right foot quietly between your hands. Take a moment here to just be in this low lunge shape. Surprisingly, we haven't been in this shape. So if you want to pulse a little forward and back, by all means, be my guest. If you want to be completely still, if you want to go a little bit right to left, by all means, be my guest. But you're just seeing what it feels like to be in your hips. Once you feel like you've gotten that enough exploration, you'll come to stillness. Lower that back knee to the mat. And then before you go any further, hands might come to blocks here, but you're going to push down into both appendages. So push into the front foot, push into back knee, start to curl your spine up to vertical. Hands will then again come to the top of the front shin. You can stay right here. This is happy days. You can repeat what we've done before. Otherwise, you'll start to squeeze your back butt cheek and see if you can lift your left heel, drawing your left foot to your butt, drawing your butt back to your foot, squeezing those points together. And again, as you're here, you're pushing into the back knee, you're pushing in the front foot, you're hugging those points together, you're lifting your heart up, and are we breathing? And sometimes it helps to actually get more of a quad stretch if you just kind of let go of that foot and let it just sit there by itself, because you're engaging the hamstrings. And then very gently, you will release that. Foot comes back to the floor, hands come back to the floor. Listen very closely. I encourage you to put all your hands on your blocks and turn your blocks up to the highest, all your hands. I know you guys have 12 hands now. All your hands to your blocks. You're going to shift your weight back a little bit and cross your right ankle to the top of your left thigh. So right toes are still touching the floor. We haven't done this in a while. I really like this one because it's a figure four. And then some of you will lower your blocks to the second setting and lower your forearms to the blocks. Some of you will lower your elbows to the floor, but we're in this weird figure four shape. Oh, yeah, indeed. And you're pausing and you're breathing. And I want you to notice what happens if you play with wiggling your hips a little. I want you to play with really sticking your butt back like you're a happy peacock. Blossom that buttocks. Boom. You know what? That'd be amazing if peacocks made that noise. I don't actually, what do they make? That's what they sound like? Clearly I need to go to a zoo and hear a peacock. I don't know what they sound like. And you're just pausing and you're breathing and you're saying hello to your outer right hip. And you're noticing what happens if the right knee is near the right shoulder, if the right knee is near the floor. And are we breathing? Are we breathing? Are we breathing? Da, 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 da. That sounds like a song. What is that song? Da, 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 da. Is it the cucaracha? Okay, I was like, I remember this from when we went roller skating as kids, but I don't know why. All right, so you're going to gently come out of this. Hands will come back to those blocks. You might need to turn them all the way to their tallest setting to unwind the right leg and then make your way back to downward facing dog. And then you'll wiggle and giggle around in downward facing dog. And just feel what your hips feel like. Nice job, guys. Yeah. Nice job, guys. And then as we're ready, we'll try the other side. Inhale, lift your left leg up and back. As you exhale, quietly step that foot between your hands. Awesome sauce. And then just as we did before, hands might come to blocks. You might stay completely still here. You might move around a little bit. Yep. Nice job over there, Laura. Okay. And then once you feel like you are established, you're going to come to stillness. Lower the back knee down to the mat. I do encourage you to possibly keep hands on blocks, but you're going to push down into front foot, push down into back knee, curl your spine up to vertical. So your tailbone really rolls down, and that's how you come up. And some of you will stay here, both hands on that front thigh, and you just breathe and you just breathe and you just breathe. Some of you will reach up through your right arm and you breathe and you let go of tension in your face. And then some of you will bend the back knee, reach around and grab the outside edge of that right foot and draw the right hip to the heel to the hip, seeing if that tailbone can still lengthen down and heart lifts up. And you trying to do that without holding it is another added challenge, but you can try that if you'd like. Then you just pause and you breathe and you pause and you breathe and you pause and you breathe. And then very gently we'll release. Hands will come back down to the floor. I do encourage you to put your hands on your blocks on your highest settings. It just gives you space. And then you're going to cross your left ankle onto the top of your right thigh, keeping those left toes curled under. And before you go any further, I want everybody to stick your butt back here first. That might be enough sensation for you to stay right there, butt blossoming back. You might lower your forearms down. You might do none of the above, but I do hope you're breathing. And then maybe fan your hips a little to the right, a little to the left. That sounds like that song by Lou Vega. A little bit of Monica on my mind. Oh my God, I'm really having a day. And you're just pausing and you're breathing and you're pausing and you're breathing. And how do we remind ourselves to stay on track? And this isn't to say that there aren't times in life where we do need to take a detour. It's just, how do we remember the final goal, the final destination throughout it all? Got 2 more breath cycles here. Awesome sauce. At the end of your next exhale, I do encourage you to bring your hands to the blocks to the highest setting. Unwind that left leg. Make your way back to downward facing dog or child's pose, and we'll hang out for a bit in child's pose. I can't tell if I've killed you guys or not. It's all part of the way. Okay. We're still breathing. Yes, we are still breathing. And then you'll make your way back to child's pose. And when you get back to child's pose, I want you to just breathe. And your breathing is low into the belly and into the low back as you can. And just notice how you are in this moment. Some aspects of what we've done before might have been very challenging. That's okay. How do you feel in this moment? How does the body feel? How does the mind feel? The heart feel? The breath feel? So many aspects of our lives really are based upon how we feel. And yet if we allow ourselves to take the opportunity to tune into our feelings and embrace them, whatever they may be, even when they're not the most pleasant, it allows us to just keep things in perspective, I think. Okay, you got 2 more breath cycles here, and you're just breathing as low into the torso as you can. Yeah. Nice. One more. Nice. Okay. So let's go ahead and try this. You can either roll up to sit or just come forward onto hands and knees, however the heck you want to get there. Hands and knees. Wow, that was clear as mud. We're going to come to forearms and knees now. Put your forearms down on the mat. Some of you will draw prayer hands. Some of you will take number 11. Some of you will clasp your hands. You're doing whatever you want to do, but you're going to round your spine a lot. And I want you to shift your weight forward so your armpits are over your shoulders. Armpits are over your shoulders. Armpits are over your elbows. Let's hope your armpits are under your shoulders. And then you're going to round your spine a lot. Happy little Halloween cats. Let's start to tuck our toes under. Round yourself up into dolphin pose. Yeah, that looks good. Does that feel okay? Okay, and so your upper back is rounded quite a bit. And you can walk your feet in as close to your face as you'd like to. But you're pushing down. That looks good, Sandy. And you're breathing. Some of you might lift one leg up. Yep. Some of you might lower that leg down. And then you might lift the other leg up. If doing a balance in the middle of the practice is something you would like to play with, you can do that. Otherwise, this is being recorded. We can do that at a different time. But then when you are ready, you're going back to child's pose to breathe. And this time I do encourage you to swim the arms back behind you. The thing I'm noticing is when you try to kick up, you pull your shoulders up and away. So you're not staying. So when you're coming up and you're lifting the leg up, you need to keep pushing down, because if you're not still pushing down, when you try to lift the other leg up, that's what's pulling you out. So you're chickening out. Well, I chicken out too, so we're good. All right, and you've just got 3 more breath cycles here. Happy days, happy days, happy days. And you're just breathing. There's nothing else that you have to do, just breathe. And I think that's been 3 breath cycles. I'm sorry, I wasn't really counting. You're gonna slowly release and roll up to sit. And when you come up to sit, I want you to close your eyes and sit however is comfortable for you. And to the best of your ability, can you allow the shoulder blades to slide down the back, the heart to lift up, the ears to align over the shoulders over the hips. And I want you to just take 3 breaths here. Whatever you are encountering in your own personal journey in life, how can you remind yourself that you can breathe through this? Whatever is happening might just be a little bump in the road, but you can still travel on your journey. Awesome. Okay. So from here, you're going to bring your butt to the floor. Well, you probably want to open your eyes first, but then you'll bring your butt to the floor. Some of you will want to sit on a blanket, some of you will not. Okay, now we're going to start with both feet on the floor. Let's start by tucking our right ankle underneath our left hip. And then this is a choose your own adventure option. Some of you will cross that left leg over to the left. Some of you will keep that left leg right there. And then again, still choose your own adventure. Some of you will twist to the left. Some of you will twist to the right. You're doing what feels best to you based upon what's going on in your body. And I want you to take 5 breaths here. And as you're here, everyone's spine is as long as it can be. And you're noticing if you can push down into the appendages that are on the floor, lengthen up through your vertebra. And then are you clenching in those shoulders? Are they hiking up to your ears? Yep. Are you clenching around your mouth? How's the breath? And if you're doing an open twist, notice if you can find a twist happening in the upper back between the rhomboids. If you're doing more of a closed twist, lift up here. Yep. Is this where you were feeling pain earlier? Okay. Is it releasing here?
Oh, I don't know if it's releasing.
You feel it? Oh, so it's a good hurt. It hurts so good. Okay. You're just pausing and you're breathing. And those that are in the closed twist, I want you to see What happens if you pull your hand and knee against each other, knee and hand against each other to find that resistance? Do you feel something more in the outer hip? All right, and then very gently, you'll inhale and you'll unwind. And you'll bring both feet back to the floor, and then you'll choose your own adventure to the other side. So now the left foot should come underneath the right ankle. The right foot might cross outside of the left knee. It might not. You might take an open twist to the left. You might take a closed twist to the right. But wherever you happen to be in your own adventure, the first and foremost thing is, are you breathing? The second and foremost thing is your spine long? Yeah. And then the third thing is, can you allow the shoulders to relax, the jaw to relax, the rotation to happen where it's happening? So you can rotate through the rib cage. And then are you breathing? Back to the principle number one, are you breathing? All right, you guys are doing great. Take your last breath cycle here. And then as you're ready, you'll inhale and gently unwind. As you uncross your legs, I want you to turn around and face the sunrise. And then you're gonna slowly make your way to your back. Slowly make your way to your back. Well, we've got one more thing before Shavasana. Do you want to lay on your side first, or what do you want to do? No, but you can if you want. Free choice. Okay, so we're setting up for Shavasana. Okay, so for most of us, you are just going to lay there for a moment in stillness, and I want you to just pause, and I want you to breathe, and I want you to notice what you notice. How is the body feeling? Okay. Wider or closer? Okay. And so you're just pausing and you're just checking in. And the idea is to allow your body to spread and melt, spread and melt, spread and melt, spread and melt. And as the body spreads and as the body melts, as you start to tap in, I want you to really pose the question if there's anything else your body physically needs in this moment to unwind. And if so, you'll go ahead and do that. So for some of you, it might be happy babies. Some of you, it might be a gentle twist. Some of you might be like, yep, I'm ready for Shavasana. But you're allowing yourself to start to unwind and to settle in. A lot of times, if we can allow ourselves the opportunity to just slow things down by taking in a deeper breath, it gives us the opportunity to notice when we need to course correct, to notice when we are actually on track and we can weather the storm. And so as you're here for these last few moments, last few breath cycles, you're allowing yourself to just really check in. Yeah. And when you feel complete doing whatever the heck you happen to have been doing, I invite you to make your way to your Shavasana, whatever that looks like today. Might be Shavasana, might be Supta Baddha Konasana, might be legs up the wall, or playing with a puppy in our face. Great. And then as you find yourself here in this final shape, we're going to end with a little bit of breath work. So I want you to exhale all of the breath from your mouth. Yeah, and then just take a big breath in and a big breath out. Right. We'll do that one more time. Take a big breath in, hold the breath for a couple beats, and then a big breath out. We'll do that again. Take a big breath in, hold the breath at the top for a couple beats, and a big breath out. Right. Adding on. Take a big breath in, hold the breath at the top. See if you can sip in a little bit more air, and then exhale all the breath. We'll repeat that again. So you'll inhale, taking a big breath in, holding the breath, noticing what you need to relax in order to take in more breath. And then big breath out. Great. And last time on your own. So big breath in. Pause at the top, relax a little bit, see if you can sip in a bit more air. Hold that, and then when you're ready, let that go. And then you'll continue to just allow your body to drop into the support of the floor. You'll allow the breath to fall back into its natural involuntary rhythm. And as you continue to be here, I do invite you to allow your awareness to stay with the breath. So for some of you, you might find that the breath is most easily recognizable in the body through how the abdomen is moving. You might find that you connect more easily with the breath in the chest. That's you. Tight. You might find that you connect more easily with the breath as it enters and exits the nostrils, but wherever the breath is most easily accessible to you, and just allow your awareness to stay with that. And it might be something that for today you want to anchor the mind. And so if that's the case, as the body breathes in, you can think, breathe in. And as the body breathes out, you can think, breathe out. Or you can just simply watch the breath enter and exit the body. I'll keep track of the time and I'll let you know when it's time to come out. Return your awareness to your breath. As you come back to your breath, just take a moment to check in. If there's any part of you that's longing to linger here, by all means, hang out here as long as you'd like. When you are ready, you'll start to invite small, gentle movement into your physical form. If that movement perhaps becomes bigger, you might find yourself stretching or wiggling or yawning. But then as you're ready, you'll make your way to one of your sides and you'll pause there for a few breaths. You just pause on your side for a little bit.
Gradually, you'll start to roll your chest and go towards the floor. Press into your top hand and draw yourself up to a tall seat. When you're elevated, perhaps on a cloth or a blanket. I invite you to sit tall and to sit well. We'll just take a moment to sit super tall through the spine. Finding that stability, that length through the vertebra first, and once you then notice what you can soften and relax. Big muscle groups, it might be small muscle groups, but just notice what you can relax. Tension on the mouth, jaw. Just take a few breaths here. Breaths can be as loud as you want, size out. Have the capacity to change respond to anything that's coming up. Just feel it. Take a deep breath. Such a simple tool. So we'll go ahead and complete our practice by taking a collective breath, followed by a collective hold. Gently bring the hands to heart center and chin neutral. Press the palms into each other. Receive the weight of the thumbs into your sternum and lift your heart towards your thumbs. Gently exhale all the breath from your mouth. Take a big breath in. Big breath out. Inhale for Om, join if you like. Draw your thumbs to your third eye. May your thoughts be clear. Draw your thumbs to your lips. May our words be kind. And draw your thumbs to your heart center. May our hearts be open. The light within me honors and salutes. The light within each of you